I might have to let it drop. Let it drop.
Detroit Lions fans, Detroit Den 313 back with another one. Stephen Will here, ready to talk that Detroit Lions football. But before we do, please hammer that subscribe button. Helps the channel out tremendously. And think about becoming a member. It's become easier. Just go to our homepage and hit the join button. YouTube finally just made all of the stars align and make things easy on you guys for once. But think about doing that if you want to win some free stuff. That stuff out of the way, Steve. What are we doing here? Make sense of this thing.
I don't even think you have to go to our YouTube homepage to become a member. I think there's a join button right next to the video now. That's what YouTube updated. So again, consider it. Not required. Appreciate it. Well, I'm glad the Lions won more than anything. 3-1. My week's going to be great. Beat the state of Ohio at football again, just becoming like a regular thing. You know, it's like just breathing oxygen, just death, taxes, and beating the state of Ohio in football. Just something I'm used to. It's coming with a cost. It's coming with a cost, an expensive cost, Will. The injury bug. Dan Campbell today at the press conference saying it's going to be a minute for DJ Reed, cornerback. First interception, had a great game. We haven't even had to have a talk about DJ Reed. He's kind of like just a guy we forget about. He's even played football. We haven't had to mention him. He's not playing bad. He's not playing like an all-pro. He's just out there doing his job. Will, absolutely phenomenal. Had his best game as a Detroit Lion with an interception, a couple pass breakups. He's going to miss a minute. And on top of that, it's not just one injury. It's the injury to Terrion Arnold. He's still, hobbled by something, a knee. I don't know what it is, but he's kind of coming in and out of football games a lot. And I don't have a warm and fuzzy that I thought Kirby Joseph's season ended on Sunday with how his injury looked and the way he walked off the field and right to the locker room. I know he came back, but it's clear that something is bothering him. So our secondary is kind of getting a little banged up. Will, am I overreacting, or is there a little reason to be concerned here?
I'm not concerned. I respect it, and it's something to keep an eye on, but I'm concerned isn't the word that I would use. Starting with Kirby Joseph. We know about Kirby Joseph. He's got the knee thing. Sometimes that thing swells. Sometimes it gives him issues. Obviously, he has something going on with it, but it's nothing that's going to keep him off of the field. So that said, it'll just be something that we got to monitor throughout the season. It is what it is. The fact that he came back and played in that game gave me a warm and fuzzy. Now, I will say, when it happened, I was worried myself. But once he came back into the game, good to go. DJ Reed looked a little bit more serious. Coach Campbell said today at the press conference, it's going to be some time. I believe it was Tim Twentyman that posed the question, could we be looking at even maybe a stint on the IR? He said potentially it could be a thing. So I would imagine we're looking at 3 to 4 weeks with him just saying that right out of the gate. So planning on not having DJ for a minimum 4 weeks if they're already dancing around the IR talks. I wouldn't play with that hamstring stuff, man. If you don't let it heal up, that thing lingers on. And I think we do have enough to be able to put a Band-Aid on it. Now, I'm ecstatic he's not out for the season because I think he's going to be somebody that we need for the long haul. But TA seems like he's going to be the complete opposite of that. There's a potential and a path that he could be available this week, but most likely won't play this week is what it feels like from what I gathered from what Coach Campbell said today. But next week he should be on the field if he doesn't play this week. So I like Rock, man. I followed his career. I really liked what he did when he was playing with the Baltimore Ravens. He is exactly what the Detroit Lions enjoy, a press man corner. I think he's going to get out there and compete. You already know how I feel about a Meek, and I think that you feel the same way. For those reasons, I'm not pressed, Steve. I'm not pressed. Avonte Maddox is somebody that can come in and play that nickel if we bump a Meek out. If we don't use Avonte, we can always use Brian Branch and throw Avonte in that back half in the secondary. I think we'll be just fine, especially going into Cincinnati, because if he misses one game, Cincinnati Bengals game, without Joe Burrow, I'd be okay with it. I think we get through it without having TA and DJ Reed. After that, just give TA a little bit more time to hone those skills. Maybe he has to cover those number one receivers and earn his wings, earn his stripes, get better. I think it could be a good thing. Glass half full, Steve. Am I crazy?
I don't know that I want to watch Khalil Dorsey play meaningful football games for 4 straight weeks, because if both of our corners are injured, that's who came in. I believe it was when he went down. Khalil Dorsey came in and played the rest of the game there. Going forward, as Khalil Dorsey, you want to see someone playing 3 to 4. I consider every game almost a playoff game. Like this is the NFL. You can't have weeks off, and I don't know that I'm in love with the idea of Khalil Dorsey being potentially number one corner on this team. Will, that's where my concern lies. Am I crazy?
I think you're crazy if you think that he's going to be number one corner.
Well, if Terrion Arnold's hurt and DJ Reed is hurt and Khalil Dorsey is the one who came into the game for DJ Reed, just read the writing on the wall. They have a lot of faith in Khalil Dorsey is what I'm picking up.
So I think a lot of that is game plan dependent. So if Amik has game planned all week to be the nickel, instead of shuffling him out to the outside and then bringing in a nickel that hasn't game planned to play nickel, I think you just bring in the next outside corner. But with a week of game planning under his belt, I think Amik just bumps to outside and he game plans for it this week. So I think outside you're going to see Rock and you're going to see you're going to see Rock and you're going to see why am I losing?
Amik.
Amik, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, you're going to see Rock and Amik, on the outsides, and then you'll see Avonte Maddox or Brian Branch on the inside, and they either on will be playing the opposite. So they'll either let Brian Branch come on, be around the box and play the nickel position, or they'll keep him on the back end and let Avonte come and play the nickel. No big deal, no harm, no foul. I think the only way that you see Khalil Dorsey is in some type of rotational situation where they want to get him on the field to spell those guys, or if one of those guys gets banged up and then he's the next man in. But I think the number one corner on this team is going to be Amik until those guys get back. And it might be Amik until DJ Reed gets back. He might hold it down and then TA still be the number two guy.
I feel a lot more comfortable with that, with Amik being the number one. I don't want to bump Terrion anywhere and give him more of an important role when he's already struggling in what he's got right now. And with him being banged up, like I almost look at it like we're down at almost two starting corners going into, the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then Kirby still got the thing lingering around. I want that taken care of. If we have to give him a week off, or if we're just kind of limping into the bye week and maybe he can get a little extra rest and get some weight off of that knee. But I almost look at it like we almost lost 3 out of our 4 secondary players yesterday for at least a little bit of time. The injury bug's just creeping up. We even saw Aiden Hutchinson go down. I think that was the quietest I've ever heard the city of Detroit yesterday for about 30 seconds. I could have, if you were sitting on the other side, Will, I could have yelled at you in the stadium, and you probably would have been able to hear me. That's how quiet it was when Hutch went down. But just got the wind knocked out of him, I assume. So no harm there. But we did get a little bit of good news today, Will. So it's kind of like a give and take episode today. Some bad news, little concerns, question marks, what's going on with secondary. Some good news with Aleem McNeil, his practice window potentially more than likely being opened up this week, which means he's going to be back sooner rather than later to help this defensive line that don't really need much help, I'll be honest. But if you're going to give me a Pro Bowl defensive tackle on top of a really, really good defensive line, I'll take that any day of the week. Well, how do you feel about Aleem coming back early?
Steve, there's honestly not a word strong enough to describe how I feel. Like, it's I can't excited with it, just doesn't do it justice. This is going to change some things. This is going to get special. But I said what I said when it came up a few weeks ago. I'm not planning on seeing him until the Minnesota Vikings game. And I know they're going to open up the window potentially, but I'm planning on us getting right after the bye week. I think Aleem will come back, because why rush? Why rush? We're having success. I know Coach Campbell stood at that podium today and said, "Hey, Aleem's about ready." That made me feel good when he said it the way that he's about ready. He's sick of doing rehab. He's feeling pretty good. He's about ready. So that excites me. But bottom line is, why rush this thing? Let him get some practices under his belt. Let him start to get his sea legs. Let him start to be itching in practice and feeling like he's 100% confident in that thing. And then after the bye week, let's go on this run. So I don't know. I could see a case for maybe let him get a game and then get a bye week rest, but I don't know, man. I want to be cautious with a 25-year-old guy that just got darn near $100 million in 4-season extension. let's pump the brakes here and make sure we're good to go, because I want to see him and Talik do this thing for many, many years.
Well, is that your official prediction? He comes back November 2nd and gets some Minnesota Vikings?
That's what I think is going to happen.
I think I'm gonna. I said I thought he'd be back before, or maybe he gets a very, very limited role this week against the Bengals, but I don't think that's going to happen. I obviously have to, maybe admit that I was wrong for the first time ever in the history of my life. But I'm looking at the Buccaneers game Monday night. I think that's essentially 3 games from now, 3 weeks IR. His window's a 3-week window where we have to make a decision on what we're going to do, either activate him to the 53, place him on season-ending IR, or release him. That's not going to happen. So I'm looking at 3 weeks, and that puts him at about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, which is going to be a big game, a team that plays us very well, that we've struggled with. It gave us a loss last year. I think we can get by Cincinnati without him. I'm looking at the Chiefs next on the schedule. They're beatable. They're not the same old Chiefs. And then the Buccaneers coming in on Monday night. So I think that'd be a perfect time for Aleem to come back if he's ready, because last week he said he was 92 to 95% ready to play against Baltimore, and he sat out the Baltimore game, sat out the Cleveland game. So I think he's ready. He's just got to get some practice reps in him. But we're talking about adding a Pro Bowler to a solid defensive line. I saw a stat today that we're leading the NFC North, just the division, in pressures and sacks. And now you're going to give us a Lee McNeil back who, on average, I think throughout a 17-game season, he averages about 5.5 to 7 sacks, somewhere in there. Cutting that in half. Maybe he gets 5 in a short window with, a little bit more rest. Maybe he's a little bit more amped up. Well, this defensive line is about to be unblockable. We're already a solid team against the run. Now you're going to bring in a massive upgrade at defensive tackle when it comes to pressing or pressuring the quarterback. Well, it's bad news with the secondary, but I feel like it's kind of a wash because I'm very excited to get Aleem McNeil back a little earlier.
The question has been posed. I'm interested to see it. Will they all be out there at the same time? And by they all, I mean Aleem, Talik, DJ, and Aiden. Will they all be out there at the same time? And how often will we get to see all of them? Are any of those guys athletic enough to play the defensive end? And I shouldn't even say any of those guys. The bottom line is, can Aleem or Talik play big boy end? I'm going to say yes, because I watched Levi Onwuzurike do it. And as great as Levi Onwuzurike is, I think those guys are better and more athletic and more agile. And Steve just better at football. So I'm interested to see how often we get to see those 4 guys out there, because we get to see a D-line with Lacey out there with those guys oftentimes. And then sometimes they even make it a 5 front and they bring Derek Barnes up and let him play a strong edge at that same linebacker position. So Steve, I'm really interested in exactly what Aleem looks like and exactly how athletic he is, because I don't know how you're blocking all those boys if they're all out there. And then even in a goal line situation. And then I even talk about Roy Lopez if we're talking about a plug, because he don't get moved off the line of scrimmage. I don't know. I told you before, when this thing happens, Steve, I envision a time where those Philadelphia Eagles come to town and they need a tush push for a huge 4th down, and we just shut that shit down. Like, just watching over and over and over again us just dominate the line of scrimmage. It's sexy to have all these super speedy guys just running around and fast and just all of these Ferraris all over the place. But it excites me just turning on a fight, whether it's MMA, whether it's boxing, or whether it's just violent men in the trenches of a football game. And I'm just watching one group dominate the other group. It excites me way more than just watching guys just running around speedy. Right? There's no physicality in that. I want to see violence. And I think that's what this D-line is going to instantly turn into, Steve. Just a truly disruptive, violent group that embodies everything that is the Detroit Lions.
It's funny you mentioned the Eagles, Will. They weren't even on our radar to talk about today, but you mentioned them, and I don't know how the Eagles are winning football games when they can't even pass the football. Like, we've talked about Jalen Hurts before. I'll be careful because I know there's Eagles fans everywhere, but he doesn't scare me throwing the football. And if he can't throw the football, you're telling me all I got to do is stop Saquon Barkley. And I know it sounds easy, but if that's all I have to key on for the Detroit Lions, I think that's going to be a big game. And that's way down the road. That's like what, week 11 or something? Like, we got a long way to go before we even get there. But it's funny you mentioned that, Will, because when I just look at the Lions, I told my buddy who was with me at the Browns game, I just said, you can show up to Detroit. The one thing I know you're not going to do is run the football on us. Like, it's just not going to happen. We don't give up running plays. We pride ourselves on stopping the run, first and foremost. If we're going to do anything defensively, we're not going to let you run the football. When we make teams one-dimensional and having to throw the football, and we can start putting together these special packages of pass rushers, a Derek Barnes, who's kind of an unsung hero. We haven't really dove into him and how well he's been playing lately. Aiden Hutchinson, who requires two people to be blocked, and even then he's still getting his. Tyleek Williams, haven't mentioned his name either a whole lot lately, but all he's doing is just stopping the run. DJ Reader, all he's doing is stopping the run. Al-Qadim Muhammad came off a great game against Baltimore, and now you're going to add in an Ali McNeil and just more guys who can stop the run. And when it's about halfway through the third quarter and you find yourself down 10, 17 points, and you're like, well, we can't run the football anymore because time's not on our side and we have to start passing. That's when the Lions defense starts to just tear people apart. When we start getting some coverage sacks, some pressures, some sacks, making quarterbacks run for their lives, that's where I love football. It's almost like I wish I could just take a nap because I know you're not going to run on us. And I could just wake up halfway through the third and, it's 24-7 Lions. And, you got to throw the football the rest of the game. Thoughts and prayers, William. Thoughts and prayers are with you.
You're dead on. I think I'm a little bit upset because I think you're kind of describing our game day episode right now. what are we talking about? What is it?
That's every game day episode. That's what we try to do. Make teams one-dimensional. Make you have to pass the football.
If you got to pass the ball, Aiden Hutchinson is just eating. So I don't know. It is what it is, man. I'm just excited, man. I'm not panicking. I'm not hitting the panic button over the secondary situation. Seems like Terrion Arnold is going to be fine, and I think that eventually he figures this thing out. So for everybody who hammers us about us being a little bit too hard on TA, the dude said at the podium that we got to start. He's going to be wearing a gold jacket one day. He doubled down this season coming into the season, said that he wanted to be the best corner in football. You say those type of things, man, the expectations are super high. That's it. That's all. We're just not there yet. We'll get there. I still got faith in them. If we miss them for a couple of weeks, the Detroit Lions did exactly what they needed to do. We got the best GM in football in Brad Holmes. He's got depth at that position this year. Rock's going to come in and do his thing. Amik's going to do his thing. Avonte Maddox is going to do his thing. They're going to put more than a Band-Aid. It's going to be next man up, and it's going to still be damn good football played. I have zero doubt going into this week. So I'm excited for those guys to get some opportunities and pad those stats, man. I'm just wondering which one is it going to be? Is it going to be Amik putting pressure on TA saying, because he almost did it in that game. He almost put pressure and said, hey, man, I got my pick before you did. What are we doing? Like, he just dropped his. He made a perfect play, undercut. And I think it was a back shoulder that he stopped and undercut, man, and then just dropped it. So TA, man, I'm gonna need you to make a play and don't let these guys get their interception before you, because Avonte Maddox is gonna have an opportunity. Rock, don't let Rock get one, man, because Rock is an aggressive press corner. I can see him getting his hands on the football too, man. So I think our style is gonna change a little bit, but those guys fit exactly what we need to play press man, which is obviously what every DC I think Detroit hires now wants to do.
William.
Yes, sir.
I need to see TA cover his bed with a sheet before he covers a number 2 wide receiver and knocks him down. Okay, that's just
I can't.
Can we just start there? Like, I get it. We're trying to be positive. We're trying, and I don't know if you saw that Terrion Arnold was baptized on Saturday before the game. There's some stuff floating around. Hey, respect it, love it. I'm not going to go into religion or anything like that. I love to see that. And some people in the comments were not being so nice. All right, I liked it. That's it. I moved on. If you don't have anything nice to say, move forward. But one of the first ones I saw was, TA gets baptized every Sunday. I don't know what we're even doing here. He gets baptized by a number 2 receiver every Sunday. So I don't know. A lot of people are clowning him, but I need him to start making some plays. I'm with him. He's a Lion. I think we need him now more than ever, in my opinion. Like, there is an opportunity to step up here. There's an opportunity to cement yourself as at least a solid number 2 corner. Like, DJ Reed's going to miss 3 to 4 weeks. We need a guy that we drafted in the first round, traded up to get, to step up and play football. It's year 2. You're not a rookie anymore. You're a second-year corner. Now's the time. That's all I'm saying. I'm a little nervous about his play and the injuries, and DJ Reed being out and Kirby Joseph being banged up. There's some questions. That's all I got. I think we got some good news with Lee McNeil, though. So, hey, if we're just putting a quarterback on his ass, Stephen Will could be back there in the secondary. It's not even going to matter because the quarterback can't get the ball off. So I'm happy with the news. We got a little bit of bad, a little bit of good. So you got anything else for tonight, Will?
Yeah, I got some bold predictions for this week. I'm just gonna let people simmer in what those are probably gonna be. I left some breadcrumbs, but I got some bold predictions. I'm not gonna give them right now, but I got some stuff floating around. Steve, be ready for our game day show.
Did you look into tickets? You going to Cincy?
I did look at some tickets today. Honestly, I felt like they went up a little bit from where I saw them the other day. So I don't know. We'll see. You got to play the long game. I know people are probably just saying, "Hey, these Detroit fans are going to jump in here and grab some tickets. So I'm gonna bump my stuff back up." But I did see some decent ones. But I'm trying to get into that 100 section, Steve. I'm not trying to watch the game with.
Oh yeah. If I'm going out of town, we're going to. I think we're section 101, I believe, for Cincinnati. Can't wait. Yeah, we bought them at the beginning of the year. They could not be any higher. So. Tickets went on sale. We looked at Cincinnati. Hey, that's the one we're going to go to. Easy drive. Bought the tickets. They were they cost a couple bucks. I'll tell you that. Plus a hotel for 2 nights. It's getting pricey, Will. But game day episode, we'll have that at the end of the week. Move past Cleveland. Time for Cincinnati. Got to take belt to ass to another Ohio team. I absolutely can't wait. Well, if I love doing anything, it's beating a team from Ohio. Okay, the only team I cheer for down there, Toledo Mud Hens, because they're part of the Detroit Tigers. So only team in Ohio I can support. Anything else?
Nope, that's it, man.
Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.